You guys thought I was done with my favorite games? Oh no. Though Resident Evil, yes, Resident Evil 2 is my favorite game of all of 2019. Mortal Kombat was my favorite fighting game of 2019. Now, what came before Mortal Kombat that I enjoyed for a short time, well, actually, not for a short time because I still play it, was Dragon Ball Fighter Z. I played these two so much. I've played these two just about the same amount of time. I both get the characters when they come out. I enjoy one because it's fast-paced action. I enjoy one when I want to see a bloodbath. But Mortal Kombat 11 still did something for me. It ended, at least for what we know, it ended Mortal Kombat. And it ended it in the right way. This game was part of the rebooted timeline. Now, back when Mortal Kombat 9 came out, I followed the rebooted timeline. I followed the original canon game timeline. And I was kind of worried where this would go. And I like how they have recreated events. Certain storylines have changed. Certain characters' backgrounds are different. Certain characters' paths have taken a turn. And the one thing that this game does that most popular franchises do when they want to keep their franchise going, or to make significant changes, is yes, this game plays with time manipulation or rewriting time. This is how I was so surprised seeing the Generation 1 MK characters interacting with our generation Mortal Kombat characters from the rebooted timeline. And certain characters that you love got correct send-offs. Some more better than others. The combat is what really held me. Fighter Z is fast-paced. Mortal Kombat for a while was a fast-paced game series. This game now takes you back to MK1 and 2 style combat, where it rewards you for a combination of defense and attack play. The combat feels great. It's not overly fast, only with certain characters. Certain characters do feel faster than others, but at least this time around, the characters' fighting styles, their attacks, and their movements feel genuine, feel fluid. Every character does feel on par, though, with their separate fighting abilities. Yes, someone like Noob Saibot, who is a speedster with a shadow. I only say speedster. I know he's a undead specter of the nether realm, like Scorpion. He's basically evil Sub-Zero. Anyway, look at Jax, for example, as well. Jax is a powerhouse. But just because he's a powerhouse and he's slower, that doesn't mean he can't turn the fight around if he so wanted to. I've come across characters in this game like Kotal Khan in the campaign or in the challenge towers and the towers of time. Any character can make a comeback on you. You guys could both be on death's door. And this one decisive hit, changing the X-rays from not being something that could be spammed by a meter. Now, X-rays only happen throughout heavy parts of the combat or the finishing blow. Which now, you know what? I'm glad that they changed it because I didn't want the X-ray mechanic to feel stale. There's still a defensive meter and an attack meter. But use them at the wrong times and you will gravely suffer. I've played this game so heavy. The fatalities is another thing. I've grown up with Mortal Kombat. The fatalities always fascinated me on what these characters can do. Some are really disgusting. Some are befitting to the character. And some are just so outrageous, you'll be like, wait, why in the hell did you just do that? I mean, my favorite fatality in the game comes from Scorpion with his Hellfire Spear. Now, the production in the story, how the story is presented, how our characters finally look, I don't think you can get no better with the look of these characters. You know, even certain characters who are not playable, who only appear in the campaign, they look just as detailed as what you remembered back in the day. Because we went from digitized sprites to 3D animation, which was the PS2 era. Now we jump to this modern era where we can push the look of these characters. Though you would say, oh, they look inconsistent. Well, MK9, I could tell was very, like, it had very aggressive color, like pops. The colors were amazing. They were bright, colorful. The characters did look more gamey back then. Then when we got to MKX, it was a cross of generation. It became more like, okay, they're looking hyper realistic, but they're still keeping their look. This game went for what seems like a 3D hyper realistic look, because every character looks detailed. You can still identify your favorites, even though they do look different. They look more realistic to the best of the game's ability. But that detail goes to the worlds of Mortal Kombat, to the enemies, to the environments. When you go back and see Shang Tsung's island, you're going to be like, holy hell. Even though it's in ruins, this is still the place I remember growing up and playing Mortal Kombat in the early days. So, that's all I wanted to say about Mortal Kombat 11. Why it was my favorite fighting game of 2019. Tell me in the comments what your favorite fighting game was, and I may just have one more favorite game of 2019 I will share with you guys, and I will work on it soon.